Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing this morning? Today is Monday, April 21st, 2025. Hope everybody had a nice holiday weekend. All right, let's see. Let me run a quick test order here real quick. Before I do that, it's not exactly the way I want it to look. That's what happens every time I come in over the weekend and I try to do something new or restart my machine. Everything is kind of interesting. All right, so we're looking to see if we're going to get a trade short here for the 9 o'clock, and it doesn't look like it because I need price to be below like 117 before this bar opens. It might. Right now we're at 120. We got 15 seconds left. So if price drops below 117 and a quarter, I'm going to get a short entry. Got 2 seconds left. Nope. Did not get an entry for the 9 o'clock. Price did not go lower. So, all right. So nothing for the 9 o'clock, which is good because this is a short only strategy for the 9 o'clock hour. All right, let's see. Let's take a look and see who is in here. All right. Joe, good morning to you. Mitch, good morning. Richie, good morning. Beth, good morning to you. Matthew, good morning to you. Matthew, Ron, haven't seen you in a couple of years. Well, welcome back. Yeah, I still use order prints. I've got some other things that we've got in the works as far as order prints go. We got a pretty cool, called like a cluster trade. Very specific stuff. So it's pretty cool. But Matthew, nice to have you back. How have you been? What are you trading these days? How are you doing? How's your journey coming along? Let me switch things over from my 9 o'clock and get things ready for the 9:30. And then we'll kind of go over what happened during the overnight.
Order submitted. Cancel.
Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I need to fix something on my trade copier here.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right. Bear with me for 1 second, guys. I got something that's doubling up on me here. I need to figure out what's going on. Bear 1 second with me. And then I see your comment, Matthew. I'll come back to you in 1 second. I just want to get this thing fixed before the market opens.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Trade copier issues right first thing in the morning. That is not fun. Let's see if I turn that off. Let's see what happens.
Order submitted.
That's weird.
Order canceled.
$26, $30.
Order submitted.
All right.
Order canceled.
Don't know if it's on this end or... All right, let's try this. So what's happening, guys, is I'm copying, as you guys know, across multiple machines. And what it's doing is on my machine that's got all my Apex accounts on it, it's doubling everything up. So that's not good. So what I'm going to try to do is shut that thing down and restart it. See if that will fix it. All right, let's go, Matthew, back to what you've said while I'm waiting for that thing to come back up. Let me log into that thing. Let's see. You've been doing great. Okay. You're using fair value gaps. All right. So are you trading like ICT or something? Matthew? Nice. Well, it's whatever works, right? I mean, you got to find a system, a strategy, something that suits you, that fits you. Um, Not everything is made for everybody else. That's why it's nice to have all the different things out there. And once you find out what works for you, you kind of stick with it and just make it your own. Now let's see if this thing is going to cooperate or if it's going to be a complete pain. All right. So we're also streaming on Twitch, by the way. So TR1, thanks for the follow. Or what is it? TR? What is it? TX? What was that? I want to make sure I get that. It's TR1X. Thanks for the follow, man. Or woman. All right, let me see what is going on here. So now, yeah, this thing got completely screwed up on me. So now, okay. So I have to reconfigure this trade copier because it wiped out all the settings when I restarted it. That's interesting. Wasn't expecting that to happen. Let's see. $61 is the 300K. Okay. So we'll do 3. This is 15, so we're going to do sorry guys, I'm just trying to get this. I wasn't planning on doing this, I guess I should have had this thing before the stream was on. Give me 2 more minutes, I should have this thing all done up. All right, let's see if this will fix it or not. I'll find out in a second.
Order submitted.
Nope, it's still doubling it up. Well, that's weird. Okay. So it's got to be somewhere else.
Order canceled.
It's probably on this machine. All right, so I will not be trading that today. I'm not going to mess with it.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
And I'll just try to figure that out afterwards. All right. All right, well, we tried to make it work. Yeah, we couldn't. Okay. Anyway, so the overnight. What happened in the overnight? Let's take a look at the charts. So I did take the 3 o'clock trade, which was right here, but I took it on, which account did I take it on? I took it on this one. Took it on this account right here. So there it is right there. I got in short right here at 18,204.50 and got out at 18,192.25. So that was a 49 tick target. Took a few minutes, but as you can see, the market basically went down, which is what I was looking for. And I was looking for this break. So one of the things that I look for, as you guys know, is for this H pattern. Now, two things will happen, or this chair, or what have you. If it breaks below and continues to go downward, then what we're expecting is I expect a move that's the same distance. So if I was to draw a line from here to here and then paste it, after we have the pullback here, I expect price to continue to go back here, which, as you can see, it did. And another way to do this is if we take a Fibonacci and we draw it from here to here, it retraced to the 50%, and then the target's right here, which you can see it hit it. So the measured moves and Fibonacci, everything kind of was correlating, which, again, if this H pattern fails, which means it's not going to reverse and go back up, okay, then the Fibonacci is in play, the measured move is in play, everything in the continuation to the downside is in play. Does that make sense for you guys? Do you guys see that? So if I go chart right and I do this bar by bar, let me get rid of all these drawings. So if I do this bar by bar, okay, and I draw my Fibonacci here as this is happening. So here's my high, here's my low. So I would expect price to retrace at least minimum for me to consider anything to the 50%, which it did right here on this bar. Okay. And once it does that, then I look for it either to test this area and bounce back up, right? Because here, once it basically started retracing, normal retail traders will think, oh, it's reversing, right? Because it's bouncing off of this level here, right? So we're looking for this retest. So either it's going to continue downward from this point, or it's going to bounce back up and then try to go back to, the previous range high. So the confirmation would have been looking at the shorter time frames to see what was happening. But at this point, it gave me my short entry. So I'm going to take it short, and then the stop would be somewhere up here. So if this indeed was to happen, then obviously I would have got stopped out. But since it continued on the very, opening of the bar, of the next bar, you can see that we're basically heading down towards the Fibonacci target, or the extension of the 618. It didn't happen on this bar. It didn't happen on this bar. Not on this one. Actually, it did. It spiked out right here. There it is right there. So it hit target at 320. So from 3 o'clock, getting in at 3:05, if you were to just trade the Fibonacci, you'd be in the trade for 15 minutes. Gotten in at the 50% right here, which is 226, which is quite a bit higher where I got in. I got in at, 204. So if you're just doing straight Fibonacci, 226, you got in 20 points better to go short, right? And then from 224 or 226 all the way down to 150, that's what, 80 points. So not bad of a trade if you were just to trade Fibonacci, but I was trading the breakout. So anyhow, so that's how that played out. That's for the overnight. And what are we looking for this morning? Same kind of thing is presenting itself again, right? Remember the pattern? Right? So there it is again. So at this point, I'm looking for this thing either to break this thing down and continue down. And if it does do that, let's throw our fib up here. So it did retrace to the 50%, as you can tell. You can see these things are like repeating themselves, right? So if this Fibonacci holds and this H pattern fails, we're looking to target 997 at some point. Beth, are you with me? I know we've been talking about this in the Discord, and we kind of go over this over and over and over again. So let's see. For some reason, the comment is not showing up in the main chat for me. I don't know why, but the TR1X is asking me a question on Twitch if would I consider day trading like gambling? Well, I mean, technically, I guess it is gambling, right? Because you're betting that price is either going to go higher or lower at any point in the market. So I guess it would be, gambling with some heavy risk management and obviously having, the edge and the probability work in your favor. So thanks for the question, TR1X, and that's on Twitch. So going back to this, so you can see now it basically bounced over here and it's trying to confirm the pattern to reverse and go back up. So right now, because of this move, we're in a short scenario. So we would need price to go above this area right here. We'll call it, break this 23 retracement and above to give us a long. Otherwise, if it stays down below here, we're going to continue for the short, which is not going to give us a signal because we're only looking for longs at the 9:30 open. So if we look at the 1 minute, we can see what it's doing. It's done it has a smaller H pattern here, right? That it actually confirmed and went, upward. We don't have it on the 3, but it's on the 1. So I'm not really too worried about it at this point because we did form this engulfing bar right here, right? And if this bar closes below, then it's probably going to continue to move downward. Hey, good morning, Trade Hawk. So we're still about 8 minutes away from the open, but we'll kind of watch to see what's happening with price before the open. So we'll see if this 1 minute bar closes below here. And this would probably close down below the 3 as well on the 3 minute. But right now you can see we're trading inside this engulfing bar. See, it could not close below it. And let's see if this one's going to try to close above it. Good morning, Jeremy. So if this thing does, and we still have some time until the 9:35 candle opens, and we close above this level here, to continue. Obviously, it would confirm the H pattern on the 5 minute right here to go to the upside. And if that's the case, then we are going to get, this will be indeed a reversal for us, which is good, which is what we're looking for, because we want price to basically close above this 23 on the fib and then continue to go up. So, and then maybe it'll probably go up to the 50 or the 61 retracement and then come back down if it is intending to push the market down. So maybe it needs a little more of a retracement, but let's just see what happens. So if we're looking at the 1 minute, we're basically getting engulfing after engulfing bars here before the open. So, and they're all trading inside of one another. So it's heavy consolidation. So we'll see what happens when the market opens. Did we gap during the overnight? I think we did, didn't we? Let's take a look at the 15 real quick. Yeah, we did right here. So we did gap down quite a bit on Sunday. So after, the close on Thursday, since we were not open on Friday, so we had a pretty decent gap. So we'll see, and it's actually pushed down ever since. Gone down like 200 points. I think gap down was it 417 to 230. So almost 200 points there and another 200 points down. Right now it's down 275. NQ is down 275. So, all right. So you can see that it is trying to confirm this reversal to go back to the upside. And if we look at the 1 minute, the shorter time frames, the low of the gap is 425. 18,425 is the low, and okay, so we're way below that, right? So but as you can tell, if we're looking at the 1 minute, right, we're still trading inside this engulfing bar right here, this one right here. So if I see, we're inside this range right here. And again, this is all, pre-open, but once this thing opens, it's either going to shoot straight up here or dumps, right down below here. So this is kind of like our pre-open little range. And like I said, once the market opens in another 3 minutes, this thing will either take off to the upside or, go down, blast us down to the downside. And if it does go down, remember, we're looking at the Fibonacci on the 5. That's given us a target of, where was it? Down here at 998. So just under 18,000. Let me throw a test order in here real quick one more time just to make sure I'm still okay. All right, so it looks like my problem is on the leading machine, which is what's causing my...
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Okay. All right, so I think I actually, while I'm doing this, I found my problem on the trade copier. So yeah, so I did find the problem on the trade copier. I'll have to restart my actual main trading computer because that's what's causing the issue.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Mitch, yes, we still are at 100 and 100 for the 935, yes. So as you can see, if we look at the 1 minute, while I was messing with the trade copier, we broke above this range and it's just kind of taken off. So we'll get rid of that. It's no longer relevant. And now we'll see what happens when the market opens in another 15 seconds, which way this thing's going to go. All right, we got another 5 seconds. All right, market opened. And this is something that's really interesting for any of you guys who are using Tick Strike. So my Tick Strike is up. All of my stocks are all like heavily red on Tick Strike. And then NQ, when it opened, it went like solid green. And as you can see, price went, up, which I thought was kind of interesting. So like the whole market, if we look at like the stocks, if you can see the stocks here, all this stuff just opened down, like in big red. But NQ for some reason started going to the upside. So anyhow, so right now, obviously, we're in long range in long signal territory. We'll see how this plays out. Now, look at what we did. So we came back up. We're basically retesting the 50% retracement. Okay. So if this thing actually starts to pull back down, I'd be really leery about taking this thing long because we're not breaking out of it. So yeah, I don't, honestly, at the way this is looking right now, I don't think I'm going to be taking this trade because based on what I'm seeing here, if it's rejecting here, okay, well, it's going up higher, so never mind. Well, it's trying, though. All right. Whoops. So it is still moving upward. Yeah, I got to say, I'm not really a huge fan with the way that this is developing. because it is retracing to the 618, bouncing off of it. So this thing could potentially be heading back down. So I am probably not going to trade this thing on any of my live accounts. Let me just make sure I'm turning everything off.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
Okay. So I have this thing on, but I'm not going to be trading this thing. It is going to give us a long signal. We got 45 seconds. I'm only going to be trading this on the one account.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
Let me make sure that I put it on correctly. Right here.
Order submitted. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order canceled.
All right. So we got 3 seconds. This is going to take a long. It's going to take a long entry.
Order submitted.
It's in.
Order filled.
It's pulling back quite a bit.
Order filled. Stop.
Yep, this thing did stop out. So, like I said, guys, remember what I said. I wasn't expecting this thing to do anything in our favor. So that's why I turned everything off. And it did take me going the other direction. All right. Well, that's interesting. All right, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get this thing closed out.
Order filled. Order filled.
Okay. So, make sure everything is off everywhere. It is. Okay. So this thing actually did reverse on me on a couple of my accounts. Went the other direction. Okay. I'll take that, I guess. I need to figure out what's happening with my trade copy. I'll get that figured out after the stream is over. But anyhow, guys, so now you see, even though we did get a signal, I still did not take this. I only took this in an eval account. I didn't take this in any of my PAs. Because I just, the way that the market was structured, the way the trade was actually structured during the current market conditions is what I'm trying to say. I wasn't confident that this thing was going to go up. And it was basically hitting the 618 retracement. So keep an eye on this later on and see if we do hit this target right here, which, is kind of what I'm expecting at this point, because that means that this reversal here is not going to work for the long term. So anyhow, guys, that's going to do it for today. Even though we did get a setup, you can see that there's a reason why not to take the trade. So that is all I have for today. So we will see you guys all back here again tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.